Welcome to Building a Legacy podcast, powered by Wealthy Results, LLC. Here we dive into everything funding, entrepreneurship, and building generational wealth. This podcast was constructed for the builders, the opportunists, the risk takers, the long-term thinkers. No hype, no shortcuts, just the real. Real stories, real strategies, and real wealthy results. Welcome to the #1 podcast for entrepreneurs who understand that real wealth isn't just what you make, it's what you leave behind. I'm your host, Leon, and I appreciate everyone for being back with us. Go ahead and hit that like button because it costs you nothing and it helps us out. Last week, we talked about the mindset shift from employer to owner and how changing the way you think can completely change the direction of your life. Today, we're going to talk about something that a lot of entrepreneurs overlook, and that's relationships. Because in business, it's not just about what you know, it's about who you know, who knows you, and who trusts you. So with that being said, Mr. Holmes, welcome back.
Yes, sir. Let's get it. Thank y'all for y'all support, man. Everyone that's coming back from last week, that enjoyed last week. Making sure you, like he said, like, subscribe, share. If your mama want to be an entrepreneur, share it with your mama. If your daddy want to be an entrepreneur, share it with your daddy. But anybody that desire to get better, make sure y'all share this podcast with everyone. We got a lot of things in store for you today. I'm excited for today's podcast, next week's podcast. I'm glad to have you. Let's get it.
For sure. We are glad to have you. I second that. So like always, RC, I'm going to start you off with an easy one. So just generally speaking, how important is relationships in business?
Without relationships, you don't have a business. Networking is my favorite part of business because, like I just said, without the people, you don't have a business. Even the introverts, you gotta find a way to step out of your comfort zone to expand yourself because every relationship or every person you meet, they can speak about your business in rooms that you will never be in. Right? So relationships mean everything with business. If you don't have the right relationships, you don't have a business, no matter how good your business model is.
For sure. And I agree with that. So let's talk a little bit about the power of just one connection. And just give me one name. So who is one person who played a major role in helping you see business differently early on?
Uh, I can't give you one name. It's so many, man.
All right, then just give me three. Give me three.
Yeah, three names. Um, that's kind of hard, man. That's a hard question. You
Okay,
say
just
you want.
early
You
on,
say
what's
you want.
like one moment that you can remember? Like, okay, I remember that, and from that moment, I feel like it was a shift.
Okay, so I would say everyone know that I have a business funding brokerage, and early on when first starting this, like I knew what to do. I knew how I wanted to help people, but I didn't. I was missing something. The connection in the middle was missing, and that was the right relationships with the banks. So I would probably use that the most. My relationships with different lenders and different institutions because without them, I don't have a business. So I would say my very first relationship was shout out to Neil Horry at Chase. He was the very first connection that I used to help people get capital. So yeah.
So okay, so without giving away too much detail, walk us through that. Just like how did that happen?
Oh, I give y'all all the detail, man. That's what we here for. That's what building a legacy is about. We ain't holding nothing back. We gonna give it all to you straight raw, straight game. You heard? Um, but that so how it happened. First of all, if you are a professional and you want to be serious about business and growing, I really I really advise you to get on LinkedIn. Every bit of professional success I've had in my life, whether it's personal or business, it all came from LinkedIn. Reaching out to people, like we said, we want to expand our relationships. Without the people, you have nothing. So this connection in particular, I was just connecting with all type of business relationship managers, and he was the very first one to respond. I offered, hey, let's meet up for coffee. We met at Starbucks, and that's how that relationship started. Then from then on, like I did email introductions to. I'm giving y'all too much, nah. And I just said that we will give it all to you, but nah. So I did email introductions from business owners who looking to fund into him, and was able to fast track applications.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope. All right. I think though that early on is not about just knowing a lot of people. It's about just meeting that right person at the right time. So, do you think that most entrepreneurs try to do too much on their own in the beginning? And was that you at one point?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's speak about me first. We all prideful, but I'm super prideful. I don't want to ask nobody for help. I don't need nobody else. I can do this all by myself. But yes, that is a common mistake that all entrepreneurs use. They think really because they have a good business model and someone else has already done it that they don't need those connections because the person who they learned it from or the person who they looked up to, they maybe left that part out how big the connection part is in that business model that they're looking to start. Um, so yeah, I can give you an example honestly because it's a guy who was looking to start an HVAC company. He started working for a commercial company. He was working under someone as an HVAC technician, but he wanted to start his own company because he was so good at it. But at the same time, he didn't realize the company that he worked for already established their relationships with different customers and different marketing techniques and everything to put it out there. So once he started his HVAC company, he didn't have no business, and him being good at that didn't mean it meant nothing because he had no relationships, and he wanted to try to like just do door knocking and all these different sales tactics. But none of it was working because he didn't have the right relationships. But once he got into different rooms, he joined networking groups, and like I mentioned, he had people speaking about his business in rooms he'd never be in. There's somebody that probably will go to a event tomorrow or somewhere tomorrow, and just because they know me and what the results, they say, "Oh, I know somebody that does this," right? So, and that's how his business was able to scale.
No, I love that. That's a great story. So, why do you think most people hesitate to reach out and build relationships?
Nervous. Like I said, y'all might think I'm an extrovert because how much I talk, and I kind of am, but for the most part, like it's kind of hard or it's weird just to walk in the room. Hey, I'm RC Holmes. I'm what the results. This is what we do. Like you kind of want to observe the room and you want to wait for people to come to you and you want to wait for the right time to present your business and reach out to people. And it's uncomfortable for a young professional or a brand new entrepreneur. Speaking for myself, but once you realize everyone in that room is nervous, everyone in that room is a little uncomfortable talking to strangers, presenting their business to someone they never met before. Once you realize that, it makes networking, it makes extending yourself and to others, it makes it a lot easier. And in the entrepreneur world, there are a lot of people out there that want to see you win because they understand how hard it is. It's not like your family or you know what I'm saying someone. I don't want to talk bad about my family, but some people family they say, oh, you can't do it or that's impossible or something like that, and you take those same fears when you go into these different rooms or whatever. Okay, maybe they think this idea is stupid, but in reality, that person that you might think that think your idea is stupid, they actually be the ones that be open to helping you.
So, was there is there an example maybe like early on where you feel like that you were doing too much and then a relationship kind of helped smooth that out?
No, not really, honestly, because maybe in the in the early businesses, such as my trucking business, which we mentioned on the first episode, I probably was doing too much by not seeking the right advice or not. I didn't have a mentor at that point. So those early business and those early things that didn't work as designed, it kind of teach me. It kind of taught me how to be prepared for the next opportunities. And so by the time I got the wealth results and the vending machine business, which we'll talk about later in another episode, and also the pool business as well, I kind of already knew I need relationships. Relationships matter more than anything. I had mentors, which is huge. So I would say early on, yes, but as I
Entrepreneurship
continue,
period.
uh huh.
Just entrepreneurship period.
Yeah, yeah, just entrepreneurship period. Like I kind of already knew. I read a whole lot of books too. And if you're not reading, you're not achieving, man. So make sure y'all reading them books.
Nah, for real though. I agree with that, especially with the books part. But a lot of people feel like they have to figure out everything on themselves, but that can only just slow down the process sometimes. So let's get into how opportunities actually happen. So when you look at your journey, would you say more opportunities came from just effort or from with relationships?
Relationships. And to kind of piggyback off of what you just said, and books. I actually got a book for y'all to read, and that kind of discusses exactly what we're talking about today. Who, not how. A lot of us get stuck on the how, but it's really never the how. It's the who. Who can I get to help me solve this problem? Whether that's hiring somebody, for marketing, for your business cards, your website, or who is better at or who knows more about this my problem than me. It's really never how, it's always who. And once you start looking at it that way, it helps you out in business tremendously. This is a great read. I have a lot of. Maybe we do a segment or a book I recommend or what book I'm reading. Um, every
Definitely.
couple episodes or so. But definitely, that's a great book. I recommend. Who,
Okay,
not
and for
how.
our listeners who maybe not watching, what's the name and who's the author?
The name of the book is Who, Not How, and it's by Dan Sullivan. He has a couple of great books. But yeah, make sure y'all get that. It's on. I think it's free on YouTube for my audio listeners, but I like the digital. I mean the hard copy. So yeah.
Okay, I think that's dope. In this day and age, I mean, you do need mentors, but it's easier to access information, which is, all the countless YouTube videos and books that's available through maybe like Amazon and things of that nature. So that is dope. So moving on into our next segment, let's talk about mentors. How important has mentorship been in your journey?
Tremendously. Especially now, the more I develop, I know I mentioned maybe last episode. And we getting deep into the podcast. Now I forgot which episodes I mentioned this stuff, but I love it. I love it. But honestly, I spent like six figures on mentorship. Not saying all of them was good mentors, but that from early on, and like I said, you got to be a person that learned from your mistakes. And I learned that very early that most of those mistakes happened because I didn't have a mentor, or the people that I had in place, I didn't listen to them. So anything I do from this point on, before I pursue it, I will look to hire someone that's already doing it or who's already an expert in that, because it's invaluable to learn from their mistakes and their experiences and what they already do. Like they already done it, and in some cases they're still doing it. So why would I go to try to start something on my own, knowing that things gonna come? I want to know how they responded to it when they came. How did they, you know what I'm saying, which hurdles or which options are available so it doesn't even happen to me at all. So
Right.
mentorship is outstanding. I recommend it 10 out of 10. Do your research on the mentor that you're looking to get in before you hire them. Like I mentioned, I spent some money on bad mentorship before as well. $10,000 on a mentorship, but I can think I'm not gonna call him out. He got a good book, which led me to get him hire him as a mentor. But $10,000 down the drain, capiche. But all in all, you learn from it, and so I'm not worried. It is what it is. We move on.
For sure, for sure. Nah, that's definitely very, very valuable information. You know, getting somebody who has done exactly what you're trying to do, so they have all the tools and all the shortcuts, and not even shortcuts, but just the secrets and the sauce. All right, but
Absolutely.
at first though, did you like get to a point where like, okay, I need a mentor, or did a relationship naturally happen, and then you realize like, okay, I need mentors.
Now, like I mentioned, I don't want to always be just like a blast from the past. But I know I did mention about how I had two close friends who was both in the trucking thing, and they told me, RC, don't do this unless you drive. They weren't paid mentors, and I didn't look at them as my mentors. But in reality, they were someone who was already in the game. They already had experience, and they was telling me things. They was giving me advice, and I didn't listen. And once that trucking business it didn't work, I immediately thought of all the things that they told me why it wasn't gonna work, and everything that they said it became true. So from that moment on, from that experience alone, I knew exactly I'm gonna have mentors for every step of the way. I had a mentor for what the results, even though I had the idea of what the results before seeking mentorship. Hey, silence y'all phones when y'all in meetings too. That's a big tip. But I knew I was gonna do it what the results. But before I proceeded and before I like kind of got any deeper than the idea, I wanted a mentor.
Okay, for sure.
Yes,
So
sir.
what's now that you've had like plenty of mentors, what's like one piece of advice or maybe like a quote that a mentor gave you that stuck with you to today?
Once again, I said it. Some of the stuff is gonna be a repeat because I really live by this stuff. It works, and don't worry about what it costs. Worry about what it's gonna cost you if you don't spend it. I know I said that on last episode, but it's true. And every time a big purchase or it's time for me to invest big on myself or the business, I think about that like, $5,000. But if I don't spend this $5,000 a year later, I'm gonna wish I spent that $5,000. Or what that money to go toward is not gonna grow. If that makes sense. So that's definitely one of the things that stuck with me early on is don't worry about what it costs. Worry about what it's gonna cost you if you don't do it. Shout
Okay,
out to
for sure.
Smitty.
For sure. So do you think it's more fear or just lack of awareness that stops people from getting mentorship?
I think I have to lean towards lack of awareness, but I want to say neither for real. Probably ignorance. Not that kind of falls under lack of awareness, but just not sure the value. People don't know the value that it can bring. So yeah, lack of awareness for sure. Yeah.
Okay, I definitely I definitely can agree with that because I didn't really find out about mentorship as an adult, until I was an adult. You know, when I heard mentorship, I thought about like helping out teenagers and stuff growing up. So I do agree with that. So,
Yeah, and shout out to my little brother. I know you probably watching, but for example, he he's looking to jump into entrepreneurship, and he, you know what I'm saying, he's trying to find different routes and things to go to. And I always tell him, make sure you get a mentor in that area before you jump into it. And you know what I'm saying, he know I got business experience, things like that. He say, what I need a mentor for? I got you. And it's funny, and it's true. He do got me. That's, I don't know what I'm saying, he got me forever. But at the same time, he need a mentor in that specific lane. I know things about business, but I don't know things about I don't know. I'm just give an example, a box truck business or something like that. You need a mentor in that specific lane.
Nah, for sure. I agree with that wholeheartedly. All right, so now we're moving on to our next segment. It's a new segment, and it's called Write This Down. So every episode, we try to give you, the listener, something that you can take with you. So write it down, tack it in your workspace, or save it in your notes on your phone. Our write it down quote of the day is: the right relationship can change your direction faster than the right idea. And I'm going to say that again. The right relationship can change your direction faster than the right idea. Let that breathe for a second. All right, RC, break that down for us.
All right, the right direction. I'm gonna use the example I used earlier with my first banking relationship that I made. I had a good concept. I knew business funding was a thing needed in the market, but I didn't have a business because I didn't have a relationship. Once I met my first banker, he taught me what to look for, how to meet other bankers, not only send clients to him, but for business products and business loans that he wasn't able to take care of. He also introduced me to other bankers from different lenders and different banks. So not only did that one relationship expanded my business by having someone to send relationships to. It expanded my business because I now also had other people to send relationships to, and it also I gained a valuable lesson in that. You're not in competition with no one just because he was a bank. He wasn't scared, or he didn't hold back other information from other lenders to for me to send people to them. Right? So, like I mentioned earlier, in the entrepreneurship world and business world, there are more people that's probably willing to help you than hold you back. Bang!
Nah, for sure. That's just a really dope little story, the way, because that really just broke everything open for you.
Absolutely. Like I said, really taught me how to find other bankers and different products and everything. And now we got what the results, man. We're looking to fund 5 million this year, man. So if you need business funding, holla at your boy.
Okay.
Holla at your boy.
All right. So, what are some ways our listeners? Because I know you said LinkedIn earlier. Do you know any other ways, or just want to talk about LinkedIn of ways that our listeners can network with mentors and like minds?
Once again, there's countless amount of content on YouTube of people that's doing what you're trying to do. And 9 times out of 10, the person that's out there that's sharing his expertise and he's giving insight, he's giving you how to do exactly what you want to do. He has some type of mentorship that, and that's the reason why he's marketing. That's the reason why he's telling you how to do that. So that'll be the first thing to look into how to connect with that person, right? Because LinkedIn really isn't a place for mentorship. I'm pretty sure you can find some mentors on there, but to make sure that mentor knows what they're talking about and knowing what they're doing, YouTube is the easiest way to kind of vent and vet that person because you hear them talking about the area that you want to go to. You hear them talk about how they did it, why they did it, and what's new in that market. So I would say seek that person on YouTube, do a little bit of research on them, then maybe connect with them on LinkedIn if they're on there. But yeah, and I'm gonna hit on LinkedIn again because a lot of entrepreneurs and especially if you around our age and our generation, they're big on Instagram and TikTok, and those are great avenues for business. But LinkedIn, no one uses it besides like the older and the experienced, and so it's a lot of business on there.
We do. So,
Yeah.
I do agree with that YouTube University, but Building a Legacy podcast, we're on all platforms: Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter.
Yeah. So follow us on LinkedIn, all those places, man. Let's get it.
All right. So relationships basically brought us to now to wealthy results. So now with that today, you're consistently dealing with lenders, different business owners, and people looking for funding. So just talk about how relationships are just so important in that space.
Um,
Even though you've been kind of hitting on it all day, but just kind of like walk us through
yeah,
like some operations with just having relationships.
yeah. So most of my business is referral based, right? Someone that I know or help, they send me somebody because they know what I do, right? And that right there is relationships. I don't spend. I'm just now getting into marketing and taking advantage of social media. So up to this point, my whole business has been relationships. Whether that's come from networking groups and or just like I said, word of mouth. And all those relationships matter because you do good by someone, they'll send you someone. If you do good by them, they like your service, they'll repeat. All those things are relationships, and here what the results. We're not above that. Everything that have come to me to this point has came from a good relationship. One person that I met, and like I said, they speak about you in rooms that you would never be in. I get referrals all the time. For example, I exhibited. I had all my table at a networking event and all my paraphernalia, and I met a company, Growagy. Shout out Growagy. Their business formation services. So anyone that's looking to start the LLC, open up their business, EIN number, they help out with things like that. So they often get clients that's looking to get funding, but that's not something they do. So once they get clients that's looking for funding, they send them to me, and that all came from one relationship from one event. So if I can go to different events and meet different relationships and people, they call them power teams, people who deal with my customers but don't sell my product, and they send them to me, and I give them a referral fee on top of that. So everyone wins. It's the food chain. So you can work your way at the top or you can be at the bottom. You choose.
Okay, no, for sure. That's dope. So I think that's just something that a lot of people miss. They think that business is just about having a good idea and good credit, but relationships are what actually open doors a lot of the times. And that's exactly where the results comes in. Being able to that you've already created those relationships, now you can connect that with businesses, business owners, and people. So I think one thing that people can take from this episode is that relationships don't just create opportunities; they can completely change the direction of your journey. And in your story, relationships didn't just open doors; they really just paved the way for the role that you actually kind of working in today. So next week we're going to talk about how to take a new idea or a proven concept and get funding and then scale. So make sure you come back for that one. You don't want to miss that one. But before we end, like always, RC, we're gonna hit you with these rapid fire questions.
Hey, before the rapid fire, I got one more thing to say. I forgot to say, man. One of the
Go ahead.
biggest relationships, you got to make sure you have a good relationship with yourself. You got to understand that you know what you are capable of. You got to understand your breaking points. What pushes you, what lifts you up, what brings you down, and all that stuff is important. Being an entrepreneur, especially, and if you're a faith based entrepreneur, make sure you have a relationship with the Father. So all that stuff matters, man. I gotta make sure I put that in there. But yeah, rapid fire, let's get it.
No, I definitely agree with that. That's a great point because even like discipline has a lot to do with just having a good relationship with yourself because you got to be able to
Hold
give
yourself
yourself that
accountable.
kick, get up out of the bed, get to it, that's like you your number one, you your number one boss. But with that being said, let's get on into the rapid fire questions. Like always, you can just answer quickly, or if you feel like you can elaborate, then you can go ahead.
Y'all know I
So
gotta elaborate.
So the first rapid fire question is, what's one trait someone must have for you to do business with them?
Um, Intensity. They gotta be someone who moves with purpose. Um, and I'm so big on that. Like I said, I gotta elaborate. I'm so big on move with purpose, man. It makes me mad when I'm walking from the car to the grocery store with my kid and we walking slow, like walk with a purpose. Like we got something to do. So I feel like that's the biggest characteristic that you gotta have to walk with me. Don't come to me just with an idea you're not sure, and if I give you advice you're not moving on it. When I give you something you should act on it, because I'm doing it from the bottom of my heart. Honestly, I want to help you, I want to see you win. You got to show me that you want to win.
Nah, for sure. For sure. Because you can't help nobody who don't want to help themselves.
Yeah, you know the old folks, you can lead them to the water but you can't make them drink it.
For sure. All right. So, number two, rapid fire. What's something people do in business that tells you they're not ready? I guess they kind of like goes together, but go ahead.
Yeah, I switch it up though, but like you said, it kind of feeds off each other. Procrastinate, don't listen to the advice, um, not organized. If you have a call, if I schedule a call with someone, and I call them on that time, on that date, and, oh no, I forgot, oh I didn't write it down, or it wasn't in my calendar. That shows you right there you're unorganized, and change that, fix yourself.
Nah, for sure, for sure, for sure. That does go back to like just being having discipline, being organized and punctual. All right. So then, in our last question, what does leverage mean to you?
That's my favorite business word right there, because that goes back to relationships. And my definition of leverage is using something that's already there to push you above, right? So if we're trying to jump over something, we probably gonna grab it. Then that's leverage. It's something that's already there to help you. Instead of trying to run through it, use it to go to lift you higher. Oh, I like that. Use it to lift you higher. So leverage means everything, because once again, there's a lot of things and a lot of tools in place, a lot of people in place that can help you grow. Leverage those things that's in place to help you grow, and that's what leverage means to me. It's the most powerful word in business.
For sure, leveraging just relationships, opportunities, information. So I
Absolutely.
definitely agree with that. All right, so now we can move on into our closing. RC, as always, love the conversations we have.
Yes, sir. The day was great. A little shorter episode, but it's still packed with a lot of gems and jewels for y'all to write down, take home, share it with your mama, daddy, cousin, brother, sister. Let's get it. The next episode, we got some more gems for you.
For sure. And to our listeners, remember, employment pays you for your time, and ownership pays you for your decision. Keep building, everyone. And if you made it to this far in the video, you the real GOAT. Make sure you liking the video, and if you really want to show love, share it on your page. We're on all social media, and we're on all podcast platforms as well, man. Love y'all. See y'all next week. Peace.
Deuces.
Thanks for listening to Building a Legacy podcast. If you got value from today's episode, leave a review. And if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. Share this video with someone who's serious about building their future. And if you're a business owner looking for funding, growth, or new opportunities, you can connect with Wealthy Results LLC using the link in the description. Until next time, keep building, keep growing, and keep creating wealthy results.